My name is Camila Torres. I'm 30 years old, and until that night, I thought I knew what stability felt like. 3 years with the same man, 1 year living together. We weren't perfect, but we were solid, or so I believed. I was at my desk at work when my phone buzzed with a message that splintered everything. Thomas, 29, Camila. I think we need a break. I need space to figure out what I want. No contact for at least a month. Please respect this boundary. I stared at the screen until the letters blurred. A break. No contact. 30 days of silence, just like that. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. What seemed too small? Why seemed too desperate? I finally typed the only word that fit. Me, okay, if that's what you need. The reply came instantly, almost smug. Thomas, that's it. You're not going to fight for us. My pulse pounded. You literally just asked me not to contact you, I wrote back. Thomas, I expected more emotion from you. This is why we need a break. I dropped my phone onto the desk and leaned back, staring at the ceiling tiles as if they held answers. My coworkers' voices faded to a dull hum. What was this, a test, a trap, or simply an excuse? When I got home that evening, the answer hit me before I even unlocked the door. His side of the closet was stripped bare, drawers empty. Even the toothbrush he kept in the bathroom was gone. On the kitchen counter, a single sheet of paper waited for me. His handwriting, I need to find myself. Don't contact me. This is for both of us. Dramatic, theatrical, and cowardly. The apartment was too quiet. My reflection in the darkened window looked like a stranger's shoulders slumped, eyes dull, mouth twisted in disbelief. That first night I cried into a pillow until dawn, but by the second night, anger simmered under the grief, because the signs had been there. 2 weeks earlier, Thomas had gone to his high school reunion. He came back buzzing with energy, glued to his phone, fingers flying across the screen like he was keeping a secret. When I asked who he was talking to, he'd shrugged old friends. When I teased anyone I should be jealous of, he'd kissed my forehead and said, "Don't be ridiculous." But something in his eyes had shifted, something guarded. And now a break conveniently timed. After that reunion, a month of silence, where he held the control, and I was expected to wait loyal and quiet. No. The first 3 days I honored his request. Not a text, not a call, not even peeking at his Instagram stories. I respected the boundary he drew more than he ever respected me. On day 4, my phone buzzed with a notification. A story from Thomas. Against my better judgment, I tapped it. He was at a wine bar, a glass raised, sitting across from someone I recognized immediately. Chloe, his old high school flame, the girl who'd been on his arm in the reunion photos. The caption, reconnecting with old friends. Friends, right. I locked my phone and set it face down, my hands trembling. He'd asked for silence for space, but he was already filling it with her. Day 7 brought the audacity I didn't think possible. A new Instagram post pinged my phone and he had tagged me in it. A picture of us from 6 months ago at my cousin's wedding. His caption, missing this one. Hatch, second chances. The comments flooded in. You two were perfect. Don't give up. I'll get back together already. His loss if you don't. I sat frozen on the couch, scrolling through the praise he was fishing for. My phone lit up again with his name. A call. Then another. Then another. By the time I stopped counting, there were 17 missed calls. The voicemail notifications stacked one after another. His voice ricocheted from pleading to angry to panicked. Camila, pick up. Who is that guy in your new profile picture? You moved on already. It's been a week. You're doing this to hurt me, aren't you? This isn't funny. I can't believe you disrespect our relationship like this. We're on a break, not broken up. The irony sliced through me like glass. He had demanded no contact. He had walked out. And now, because I wasn't crumbling on command, he was unraveling. That night, I finally texted back. Just one message. I thought we agreed on no contact for a month. Please respect this boundary. I used his exact words, and it felt like spitting his poison back into his mouth. Seconds later, my phone rang again. I let it go to voicemail. His voice cracked, this time, stripped of anger. Camila, don't do this. Please, don't throw us away. But he was wrong. I wasn't the one throwing us away. He had already tossed us aside the moment he started guarding his phone, the moment he walked out with a suitcase, the moment he asked for space while running straight into someone else's arms. All I was doing now was letting it burn. The days stretched long and empty after that, but underneath the silence, something unexpected stirred. Relief. For the first time in years, I wasn't waiting for the door to unlock at midnight, wondering what excuse he'd bring home. I wasn't second-guessing every glance at his phone. I wasn't holding my breath trying to decode the man I thought I loved. The quiet hurt, but it was honest. And honesty, I realized, was worth more than any promise Thomas had ever made. The silence didn't last. By the end of week 1, Thomas's no-contact rule had become a joke, not because I broke it, but because he did. It started small. A story of him at the gym, shirtless flexing. A caption dripping with irony. Healing means focusing on yourself. I scrolled past without a word. Then a photo of Chloe again, this time at a coffee shop, his arm slung too casually over the back of her chair. The caption, "Some things never change." My chest tightened, but I didn't bite. No text, no call, not even the dignity of watching the whole story. He wanted a reaction. I refused to give it. Day 7. I woke up to something new, my phone buzzing with notifications. Thomas had tagged me in a post. I tapped the screen. There we were, smiling in formal wear from my cousin's wedding. His caption, 3 years together. Still my person. Miss you, Cam. My stomach twisted. Was this nostalgia manipulation or performance for the crowd? The comments came fast. Couple goals. Don't give up. You two were perfect. Fix it her loss if she doesn't come back. I didn't like it. I didn't comment. I didn't even remove the tag. I just let it sit there like a billboard of his hypocrisy. But inside something snapped. He had asked for no contact. He had moved out. He was already reconnecting with Chloe. And still he wanted me as a prop, a safety net, a symbol of loyalty, while he tested other waters. Not anymore. That weekend, my company hosted an awards dinner. I went alone, dressed in a black dress that hugged me, in ways I hadn't felt in months. My coworker, Jade, stunning, sharp-tongued, always quick to laugh, was seated next to me. We spent the night cracking jokes, sipping champagne, clinking glasses when our team's project won recognition. Someone snapped a candid photo, me mid-laugh, Jade smiling at my side. Purely platonic. But out of context, it looked intimate. The next morning, I changed my profile picture. Caption, "Great night with even better company." I didn't tag Jade. I didn't need to. The image spoke volumes. The reaction was immediate. 47 minutes later, my phone exploded. 17 missed calls, 23 texts. "Thomas, who is she, Thomas? You moved on already." "It's been a week, Camilla." "Thomas, you're doing this to hurt me." "Thomas, answer your phone. This is manipulation." "Thomas, we're on a break, not broken up." I sat at the kitchen table, sipping coffee, watching the flood of messages with a kind of detached amusement. Finally, I typed one reply. "I thought we agreed on no contact for a month. Please respect this boundary." The exact words he had thrown at me. The calls turned desperate. His voicemails ranged from indignant to pathetic. "Seriously, Camilla, you're throwing my words back at me. Real mature. That better not be a date. We're still together. You can't disrespect me like this. I'm coming over. We need to talk." By 11 p.m., pounding rattled my door. "Camilla, open up. I know you're home." I leaned against the wall, phone in hand, recording quietly as evidence. "No contact means no contact," I called back through the door. "Don't be petty. Who is she?" "Respecting your boundaries isn't petty," I shot back. "It's what you asked for." The neighbors shouted for him to leave before they called the cops. Eventually, the pounding stopped and silence reclaimed the hallway. But Thomas didn't stop. By week 2, his social media turned into a circus. Thirst traps, shirtless mirror selfies captioned, "Feeling myself" gym clips set to dramatic music. And then fake accounts. A brand new follower popped up on my stories, fitness/Mike 2024. Generic profile picture, 0 posts, instantly watching every update I made. I blocked it. The next day, another one appeared. The desperation oozed through the screen. He couldn't handle silence. He couldn't handle me refusing to play his game. And yet part of me found a strange empowerment in it. For years, Thomas had controlled the pace of our relationship. When he wanted closeness, I followed. When he needed space, I waited. When he said jump, I asked how high. But now he was unraveling under the weight of his own rules. I was calm, he was chaos. And I realized something dangerous to him, liberating to me. The less I gave, the louder he got. By day 10, his mask began slipping in public. Mutual friends texted me screenshotting his subtweets. Some people don't know how good they had it. "She'll regret this. Funny how fast people show their true colors." One friend wrote, "Camila, he sounds obsessed. Be careful." I thanked her, but inside I already knew. Obsession was exactly what this was becoming. And obsession, once exposed, has only one path: destruction. By week 2, the cracks in Thomas's no-contact demand had split wide open. Every night brought another flood of missed calls, another string of voicemails that swung like a pendulum between rage and desperation. One message would be sharp. Venomous Camilla. You're cold, heartless. After everything we had, you're just throwing it away. For some coworker you barely know. The next would collapse into pleading. Baby, please, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I need you. Come back. His voice shifted with each recording, as if he were trying on different masks, searching for the one that might drag me back into orbit. But I didn't budge. By day 12, the theatrics moved from my phone to my front door. I was curled on the couch, wrapped in a blanket when the pounding began. Hard, insistent rattling the frame. Camilla. His voice thundered through the wood. Open the door. We need to talk. My stomach clenched, but I stayed rooted in place. You said 30 days, Thomas, I called back. My voice trembled, but I forced the steel into it. Respect your own boundary. This isn't a game. You think you can replace me that easily. Who is she, Jade? That's who you were with, right? Silence hung heavy in the hallway, then softer, almost broken. Don't do this, Camilla. Don't make me beg out here. My neighbor's door creaked open. A sharp voice cut through the tension. Leave before I call the cops. The pounding stopped. His shadow shifted away, footsteps retreating down the hall. I sank deeper into the couch, heart-hammering blanket pulled up to my chin. For the first time, I realized this wasn't just manipulation anymore. It was obsession. And obsession could turn dangerous. The next morning, I logged onto Instagram and found his latest stunt. A video Thomas standing shirtless in his bathroom mirror, jaw clenched, chest heaving like a man on the brink. The caption, "Toxic women don't appreciate loyalty, but real ones know." The comments section burned with sympathy. Stay strong, King. She doesn't deserve you. Her loss. Someone better will come. I almost laughed at the performance. Almost. But underneath, anger churned. Because I knew what those people didn't, Thomas wasn't loyal. Not to me. Not to anyone. Then came the subtweets. Funny how some people beg for honesty, then betray you first. Breaks aren't for moving on. They're for reflection. But some can't even respect that. Imagine being so insecure you need a new profile pic to get attention. Each one was a dart aimed at me, though he never named me outright. And yet every time mutual friends sent screenshots with raised eyebrows. Camilla, is this about you? What's going on with Thomas? He seems unstable. I replied only once. He asked for no contact. I'm giving it to him. But Thomas couldn't survive in silence. On day 14, he escalated to humiliation. I was at work, buried in spreadsheets, when reception called up. Camilla, your boyfriend's here. He brought lunch. My stomach plummeted. I hurried downstairs, heels clicking against the tile. And there he was in the lobby, clutching a takeout bag, grinning as though nothing had happened. Surprise, he said brightly, holding out the bag. Your favorite. Thomas, my voice dropped cold as marble. You need to leave. Now. I can't bring my girlfriend lunch. His smile wavered, eyes darting to the receptionist watching from behind the counter. We're not together, and you're breaking your own no-contact rule. His smile cracked. Camilla, stop. Don't embarrass me in front of your coworkers. But then fate twisted the knife. Jade walked by. She slowed, glanced between us, then arched a brow. Oh, this must be the ex finding himself. Thomas's face flushed crimson. So you are seeing her. For the record, Jade said dryly, this is professional, unlike showing up at someone's workplace uninvited. The receptionist picked up the phone. Within minutes, building security arrived, asking Thomas to leave. He made a scene, raising his voice about love and betrayal until they escorted him out the doors. The silence in the lobby after he left was suffocating. Then Jade smirked. Well, that was dramatic. I managed a weak smile, though inside shame and fury warred in my chest. He wanted a public spectacle, and he got one. That night the calls started again. You humiliated me, Camilla. In front of everyone. That's on you. Don't you get it? I did that because I love you. I'm not going to stop until you hear me out. I turned my phone face down and poured myself a glass of wine. His words no longer cut the way they once had. Instead, I saw them clearly for what they were. Cracks in the armor of a man who couldn't handle losing control. By the end of week 2, Thomas wasn't just unraveling. He was unraveling in public, leaving threads for everyone to see. Fake accounts to stalk me. Subtweets dripping with bitterness. Voicemails that swung from rage to despair. Showing up at my workplace like a lovesick fool. The mask was slipping. And beneath it, the real Thomas was finally undeniably exposed. By week 3, Thomas's campaign to control the story had reached its peak and then started to backfire spectacularly. It began with a TikTok he posted, shaky camera, dramatic music, his face half-shadowed. The caption read, Toxic exes will weaponize your boundaries against you. Within hours, it had racked up 50,000 views. But instead of sympathy, the comments turned brutal. Wait, you asked for no contact, and now you're mad. She respected it. The math isn't mathing. Sounds like you are the toxic one. By the end of the day, he deleted the video, but the damage was done. Screenshots spread through group chats like wildfire. People who once believed him began to question. Meanwhile, his fling with Chloe collapsed in predictable fashion. Marissa, a mutual friend who'd hosted Chloe once or twice, texted me one night. Camilla, you'll want to hear this. Apparently, Chloe had been excited at first until Thomas wouldn't stop talking about me. He showed her my profile picture with Jade, complained endlessly that I'd moved on. He even begged Chloe to post photos with him to make me jealous. After 2 weeks of his obsession, she snapped, called him obsessed with his ex, told him he was too much drama, and walked away. Marissa sent the receipts, screenshots of Chloe ranting in their group chat. He's still in love with Camilla. He just wanted me as a prop. Never again. I read the words 3 times, a mix of vindication and disgust swirling in my chest. So that was his grand plan, take a break to find himself only to rebound with his high school flame as leverage against me. And even she saw through it. But Thomas wasn't done humiliating himself. On day 20, he posted another photo. This time, an old picture of us at the beach. Caption: Sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone. Missing my person. I untagged myself within minutes. That action alone detonated him. 37 calls in one night. Dozens of texts. His voicemails swung wildly from sobbing apologies to threats of regret. You untagged yourself. That's so disrespectful. We're still together, Camilla. This is emotional abuse. I'll forgive you for Jade if you just take me back. You're going to regret this. I'm the best thing that ever happened to you. I lay in bed, phone on silent, staring at the ceiling while his voice filled the inbox. Once upon a time, I would have crumbled under this storm, but now I felt strangely detached, almost amused by the absurdity. The louder he screamed, the clearer his desperation became. Then came the flying monkeys. His mother, Patricia, called first. Camilla, honey, whatever's happening, you can work through it. Don't throw away 3 years over one fight. I answered calmly, Patricia, ask your son why he's been spending time with Chloe. Then call me back. Her silence spoke louder than words. Next came his sister Rachel. She texted, he's hurting so badly. Can't you just talk to him? He asked for no contact, I replied. I'm honoring it. He isn't. Rachel didn't respond. Even mutual friends chimed in, parroting his lines. He's spiraling. You owe him a conversation. No, I thought bitterly. I didn't owe him anything. He asked for space. I gave it. He filled it with lies, games, and Chloe. That was on him. Still, the circus rolled on. By day 22, Thomas showed up at Marissa's apartment where Chloe used to hang out. Marissa later told me he stood outside, shouting into the night, Camilla, I know you still love me. Stop hiding. Marissa had to threaten to call the police before he stumbled off. She texted me after, girl, he's losing it. Please be careful. I stared at the screen, pulse steady. For years, I had feared Thomas's outbursts. His anger had been a cage I built my life around, always trying not to rattle the bars. But now I saw the truth. The cage had never been real. It was just his performance, and I was no longer part of the audience. That night, I poured a glass of wine, curled on the couch, and scrolled through the wreckage of his online persona. The TikTok backlash, Chloe's rejection, deleted posts, friends whispering, family unraveling. Thomas was collapsing in real time, and the whole world could see it. And me, for the first time in 3 years, I felt completely, utterly free. By the 4th week, Thomas's unraveling had gone from pathetic to dangerous. I thought the worst was behind me after the TikTok fiasco and Chloe's walkout, but then he crossed a line I never expected. It was a Tuesday afternoon, ordinary and dull, when reception buzzed my desk. Camilla, your boyfriend is here. He brought lunch. The pen slipped from my fingers. My blood ran cold. I stood slowly, forcing calm into my voice. I don't have a boyfriend. Tell him to leave. There was a pause. Then the receptionist whispered, he insists. Says you'll be thrilled. I could feel every eye in the office turning toward me as I walked downstairs. My heels clicked on the tile like gunshots echoing my fury. And there he was. Thomas stood in the lobby, grinning like a salesman holding up a paper bag of takeout. Surprise your favorite. My stomach churned with disbelief. Thomas, what are you doing here? Bringing lunch for my girlfriend, he said brightly, too loudly, eyes flicking to the receptionist behind the desk. We're not together, I said flatly. And you're breaking your own no-contact rule. The smile faltered. His jaw tightened. Camilla, stop. Don't embarrass me in front of your coworkers. Embarrass you. My laugh was sharp bitter. You embarrassed yourself the moment you walked in here. Then, as if the universe wanted to twist the knife, Jade walked by, holding a stack of folders. She paused, raising a perfectly arched brow. "Oh," she said, her tone dripping with amusement. "This must be the ex who's finding himself." Thomas's face turned scarlet. "So you are seeing her," he snapped. Jade smirked, not missing a beat. "For the record, this is professional, unlike showing up at someone's workplace uninvited." The receptionist picked up the phone. Security. Thomas's voice cracked, rising in pitch. "Camilla, don't do this. I love you. I've always loved you. You can't just throw us away." But it was too late. 2 security guards appeared, their presence heavy and unyielding. "Sir, you need to leave," one said firmly. Thomas's eyes darted from them to me, desperate pleading. "Camilla, say something. Tell them we're together." I crossed my arms, steel in my voice. "We're not." The guards guided him out as he ranted, voice echoing through the lobby. "You'll regret this, Camilla. You'll regret losing me." The doors closed behind him with a final thud. The silence that followed was deafening. Then Jade, dry as ever, said, "Well, that was theatrical." A ripple of laughter spread across the lobby. Even I let out a breathless chuckle, though my chest was tight with adrenaline. Humiliation had always been Thomas's greatest fear, and now he had handed it to himself on a silver platter. That evening my phone lit up with more voicemails. His voice was hoarse, raw. "You made a fool out of me, in front of everyone. That's on you. I only did that because I love you, Camilla. Can't you see that I won't stop until you hear me out?" I poured a glass of wine and ignored every word. The truth was clear. Love wasn't his motive. Control was. And now that he had lost it, he was spiraling into chaos. But he wasn't finished. On day 25, I received an email from Amazon confirmation of an order I hadn't placed. $500 worth of random electronics shipped to Marissa's address. Of course, Thomas still had my account login. What he didn't realize, I'd removed all my payment methods weeks ago. The order bounced, payment declined. I spent that evening changing every password: Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, even my old Spotify. By nightfall, my inbox was littered with failed login attempt notifications. Marissa texted me laughing. "He's having a meltdown. Said you cut him off from everything." "I think losing Netflix hurt more than losing you." I smiled into my wine glass. Sometimes karma worked fast. Day 28, Thomas played his nuclear option. He posted a dramatic status on Facebook, depressed, in a dark place, not sure how much longer I can take this. The comments flooded with concern. Mutual friends reached out worried. I considered briefly if it was real. But an hour later, he posted Instagram stories of brunch with buddies, mimosas in hand, laughter spilling across the screen. The manipulation was transparent. People started catching on. Comments shifted from concern to irritation. "Stop playing games. Get therapy. She's not coming back." By day 30, the end of his self-imposed no-contact period, I knew what was coming. Sure enough, at midnight, my phone buzzed with a new message. "It's been 30 days. Can we talk now? I want to come home. I've had time to think, and I know we belong together." I stared at the words, calm washing over me, like a tide. Then I typed, "I've had time to think too, and I realized I don't want you back." His reply was instant. "What? But I chose you. After everything, I chose you." "You ended it when you asked for a break," I wrote. "I just made it permanent." The typing bubbles flickered on and off. Then his last message. "You can't do this. I have nowhere to go." I locked my phone and set it aside. His choices had brought him here. His consequences weren't mine to carry. That night, I slept deeper than I had in months. The mask had finally fallen. And beneath it, Thomas wasn't a mystery or a martyr or a victim. He was just a man who overplayed his hand and lost. The morning after I ended it for good, I expected silence. Instead, my phone buzzed with one last flurry of desperation. 37 calls between midnight and dawn. A dozen voicemails. His voice cracked, raging, begging, bargaining. "You can't walk away from 3 years like this. I'll forgive you for Jade if you just admit you still love me. You're heartless, Camilla, after everything I did for you." I deleted every message without listening to the end. Each tap of the trash icon felt like a step further out of the quicksand. 2 weeks later, the updates trickled in. Thomas had moved back in with his parents. His mother, Patricia, called me once, not to scold this time, but to sigh into the phone, voice heavy. "We don't know what to do with him. He's not himself." I almost laughed at the irony. He was more himself than ever. She just hadn't seen it before. Melissa, his sister, posted a cryptic tweet. "Sometimes the people closest to you are the most toxic. Blood doesn't excuse betrayal." Mutual friends stopped asking me to explain. They'd seen enough on their own. Thomas had burned through every shred of sympathy, leaving only the ashes of his lies. Meanwhile, my world slowly righted itself. The apartment, once echoing with absence, began to feel like mine again. I bought new curtains, pale green like spring leaves. I cooked for one and found comfort in the quiet rhythm of chopping onions, simmering sauces, sipping wine alone without anxiety about when the door would creak open. I filled the silence with music, soft jazz on Sunday mornings, indie rock, while scrubbing dishes. The air felt lighter, without his shadow clinging to it. And Jade, beautiful, sharp-tongued. Jade became more than just a coworker. At first it was casual coffee runs and shared jokes, but there was no manipulation, no hidden games, no guarded phone tucked under the table. Just laughter, easy and genuine. For the first time, I remembered what it felt like to breathe in a relationship without choking. Thomas didn't stop entirely, of course. He turned his bitterness outward, posting quotes about betrayal and ungrateful women. But the likes dwindled. His audience had grown tired of the act. By month 2, his posts were met with silence or worse, mockery. Screenshots circulated in group chats with captions like "still at it" and "bro, needs therapy, not Instagram." The boy who once lived for attention was learning the harshest lesson of all indifference. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the skyline, I sat on my balcony with a notebook scribbling thoughts. The city glowed gold, alive with voices and car horns, but I felt cocooned in my own stillness. And I wrote what I wish I'd known sooner. When someone asks for space, give them the universe. If they come back, it'll be real. If they don't, you've saved yourself the wait. Silence reveals more than words ever could. Love without respect is just possession in disguise. I underlined that last one twice, because that was the truth I had clawed my way toward. Thomas didn't love me, he wanted to own me. And when ownership slipped from his grasp, he flailed, screamed, humiliated himself to drag me back. But I hadn't gone back. That was the victory. The date that was supposed to be our anniversary arrived. Instead of sitting across from Thomas in a fancy restaurant pretending to toast a future I no longer wanted, I was on a rooftop bar with Jade and Marco laughing under string lights. To freedom, Marco declared, raising his glass. To freedom, I echoed, and the clink of glass felt like a final seal on the past. Weeks later, I ran into Patricia at the grocery store. Her cart was half full of frozen dinners, her face drawn. She spotted me and stopped, forcing a brittle smile. "Camila." "Patricia." A pause. Then softly, "You dodged a bullet." "He's already planning another break with some new girl. Same patterns. Some people never learn." I nodded, offering nothing more. What else was there to say? Walking home with my bags, I realized something. Thomas was still trapped in his cycle, orbiting the same mistakes, chasing the same hollow validation. But I had broken free. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't broken. I was free. And maybe that was the real ending. Not revenge, not justice, not even closure from him, but peace within myself. The kind of peace you only find when you stop clinging to the idea of who someone could be and finally accept who they really are. So if anyone asked me now what I learned from Thomas, I'd say this. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And when they ask for space, don't just give them an inch. Hand them the whole sky and walk away. Because you'll discover in that wide open silence that your own voice is louder, stronger, and worth more than their noise ever was. The night closed around me, city lights blinking awake. I breathed deep, steady, and calm. For the first time in a long time, I felt at home in my own life.